My dear scholars, here is your example for your essay outline. I chose a very stupid example. I decided to say that apples are better than oranges. Okay, so you're going to choose a more analytical topic, one of the 6 that I gave you, but just for an easy example, I chose fruit. All right, so I made some stuff bold, stuff that you don't have to even have in your outline. You could just delete that, but I wanted to keep it so you knew what I was talking about. So, for example, in your essay outline, you could just have that instead of the bold stuff. But anyway, just for the sake of explanation, for my hook, I could have chosen like a nice anecdote or background info, but I decided to do a joke instead. So, here's how I would start my essay. Remember, you're not actually going to write the essay, you're just doing the essay outline because I want to teach you the structure of an essay first. Who makes the better apple pie in the family? Granny Smith. Get it? Grandma slash a kind of apple. And then my thesis statement, which is the point of my entire essay, is essentially apples are better than oranges. So in my essay, I would say, speaking of comparatives, it is time we put to rest the ancient debate of fruit superiority. Apples are simply better than oranges. And now, I have 3 key points. Key point 1, which I put in blue, key point 2, which I put in red, and key point 3, which I put in pink. And I say it's in the order in which they appear, because check it out. Paragraph 1 is all about key point 1. Body paragraph 2 is all about key point 2. Body paragraph 3 is all about key point 3. So that's why in the intro, they're in the order of 1, 2, 3. You feel me? All right, so the reasoning here is as follows. Apples are more crunchy than oranges. They come in a greater variety of colors, and they have larger dessert potential. All right, so then when I go into my body paragraph 1, I say the same thing as up here, but with different words. So here's what I said. Apples come straight from the orchard, endowed with a delightful crunch. Endowed is like given a delightful crunch. Whereas the succulence of oranges, while divine, is simply not as satisfying. In other words, oranges are juicy, but apples are delightfully crunchy. So you notice how that says the same thing as up here, but is different. Here's my suggestion for you. If you're having a hard time rephrasing things, look up some synonyms. And I attached thesaurus.com to Google Classroom for you. Here it is. Check it out, thesaurus.com. Ta-da! So if I'm like, what's another word for crunchy? I just put crunchy in there. Ooh, crispy, that's a good one. So then I could use the word crispy later in the essay outline. Aha! So feel free to look up synonyms. Okay, back to my example. So here is key point 1, apples are crunchier than oranges, and then some details would be like, have you ever picked a fresh apple from the tree and reveled in the crisp texture of the tangy flesh? Even the sound of a good bite is gratifying to experience. And then here, maybe even more details, I was like, nah, that's enough details. So I didn't bother with that one. And then my transition sentence, I'm like, texture is important, crunchiness in food, but how about the aesthetic? Because in the next paragraph, I'm talking about how it looks. Aesthetic is how things look. And here in the next point, I'm talking about color. So I'm like, texture is important, but what about how it looks? And then that moves me on to color. All right. While apples come in an array of hues, see, hue is a synonym of color. Found that in a thesaurus. The color life of an orange is sadly restricted. One detail. Apples are often red. Another detail. Apples can even be green. Another detail. Yellow apples are a delight to the eyes. I told you this was lame. All right, and then my transition sentence is, we have discussed texture, paragraph 1, and presentation, body paragraph 2, but let us move on to the taste profile of this extraordinary fruit. Because in this paragraph, I talk about desserts, so like the taste of apple-inspired desserts, That's why it's a transition. Just a note, I shouldn't be saying the words we or I in a very formal essay because that's too informal. But because this is just kind of practice, and because this is just kind of a silly example, kind of a funny little fruit example, I chose to use the word we. But remember, in the future, in gymnasium, you're probably not going to use the word I unless it's an opinion piece. All right, moving on. This support paragraph talks about desserts. The first detail is about apple pie. The second detail is about turnovers, apple turnovers. The third detail is about applesauce. The fourth detail is about a fresh apple served with organic nut butter. And then the transition sentence, instead of like transitioning to the conclusion, I just kind of concluded by saying, take a moment to reflect on your favorite apple desserts. All right. So then my conclusion is literally just a review of my key points. It's just a summary in, once again, different words. So I was like, the supremacy of apples over oranges cannot be denied, which is the same thing as saying apples are better than oranges, just different words. Their crunch, body paragraph 1, their rainbow-like diversity, body paragraph 2, and dessert options, body paragraph 3, are phenomenal. All right, so then my concluding thought, I could have given like closure or note new questions raised, but instead I gave a callback to the hook, which was about Granny Smith, and I also kind of called readers to action. So what I said was, while oranges deserve a healthy amount of glory, let us heed Granny Smith's wisdom and savor what the superior fruit has to offer. And now, because I didn't use any other sources, I'm just going to delete this. No reference page. Okay, now, as I said, you're not actually turning this into a real essay, but I want to show you what this would look like if I made it into an essay. Here we go. I just copied and pasted my essay outline into another doc and deleted all the outlining words and just kept my details. So, MLA format, student's name, then your teacher's name, then which class it is. So for you, it'd be English 8D or 8E, and then the date, and then I already came up with my title. It's centered. And then I just started with my intro paragraph, which I already wrote basically in my outline. Then body paragraph 1, which is led by key point 1 in blue. Body paragraph 2, which is led by key point 2 in red. Body paragraph 3, which is led with key point 3 in pink. And then my conclusion. So see how much I already have just from the essay outline? If your teacher were to ask you to write a 2-page essay, then you would just add more details to everything, but the structure is already there. It would be super fast to just turn your outline into a gorgeous essay. Okay, people, that is the structure, the basic structure of a 5-paragraph essay. Now you know. Good luck.